Bay Area. Hi, this is Diane again. Thank you for joining us on another episode of SFN. Well, guess what? We have a great guest with us, Mr. Gregory Liang, the president of the Chinese American Democratic Club. He is our guest today, and we're going to do a series with Mr. Liang. Getting started, this is our first episode. So, welcome to the show, Gregory.
Thank you, Diane. Actually, I'm a board member of the Chinese American Democratic Club, not the president's.
Okay. Thank you.
We have important elections coming up. We would like to talk about it.
Yes. Yes, we do. And I was very delighted when you came today. We had the same information in our hands to discuss because we really didn't discuss the content, but through the years, I've seen that we are like-minded in terms of vote.
Yes. People has very low turnout for the last elections. Hopefully this year, with so many important positions to vote on, more people will come out and vote.
Yes, yes. And that's what I'm hoping as well, that more people, because the data says right now that over 60% of those of us I'm in that club of 65 and over, and I vote every year, as I'm sure you do too. But this is 60% of us over 65 will vote. We can get the young people. What do you think?
Yes, especially the 18 and above to maybe around 45. That's the age group we would like them to participate more. Yeah. This is important. That will affect them and would affect everybody in the community as well.
Yes, yes. And so what are some of the things that you would like to talk about? I want people to get to know you. I have an opportunity to get to know you better face to face. But I would like our community, our listening audience in San Francisco to know what you think about, as a member of the Chinese American Democratic Club. What do you think about some of the propositions that are on the ballot, some of the candidates? And you can just start in any order.
Okay. For Proposition A, which is supported by Governor Gavins, I think it's a good proposition. We have so many homeless, mental ill people around. You see them on every corner. And it's so sad. America is one of the richest countries in the world, and we still have so many homeless people around. Take a look at Singapore. Before, they were poor, and then as they progress, they take care of the homeless. They massively build homeless shelters, low-income rentals to put all the homeless away, which is a very human thing to do. You don't want to see people living on the street, living in the tents, using the street as a public bathroom. And it's so sad. We need to sacrifice ourselves a little bit to provide a fund for the government to build public housing and low-income housing. For Proposition B, it was originally a good proposition to increase the number of police officers. But then somehow somebody threw in something regarding the budget. There's no budget for it. They count on the future budget events to increase the police force, which is very uncertain and it's not going to work.
So, what do you think would work?
You need to have the people support having a sufficient number of police officers and provide the funding for it. Just empty talks or empty artificial creation of the numbers is not going to work. You need to have officers, ambassadors, volunteers walk the street, show their presence in order to deter crimes. In Chinatown, they burn cars, they have breaks-in robberies, and robberies of the seniors. And it's so sad.
It's very sad. It's sad and it's shameful. And that was I'm glad that you mentioned what's happening exactly in Chinatown, because you know better than I, and a lot of the city doesn't know exactly. I didn't know cars were still being burned in Chinatown, and our elderly citizens are still being robbed in Chinatown
All the time.
you know I don't understand. As a black woman, as an African American, I've tried to understand, where did this come from, and I just don't understand. But what's more important is that something is done about it. The crime in Chinatown and what you have described relating to Proposition B. We have the reality of campaign. We have campaign promises versus the reality. Now, what I think I hear you saying is this is just an empty promise, Proposition B.
Yes. They
And
need to come up with something better
uh-huh.
rather than having a wolf in a sheep's skin. They pretend they address the crime problems, but actually they're not doing anything.
And that seems wolf in sheepskin clothing. That's a
Yes.
very accurate description. So where do we go from here? What do you think we should do?
But politicians need to come up with better policies, better budgets, and better recruitment of people into the police force.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, there's a huge number of people who employ for a year or so and then they leave to some other areas, which is better pay and less crimes, easier jobs. We have to make San Francisco a little bit better.
I agree. And moving on to what else is the Democrat? Oh, so that yes on one, which I think you referred to as A, you meant the yes on one.
Yes.
Singapore, you said, just to go back just a little bit, you said Singapore built affordable housing there's no homeless people on the street?
Yes. They used to have a lot of homeless people and poor people around too. And the government put in the funding, build all those low-income housing to put the people into affordable housing so they don't have to live on the street.
Yes. Wow. That is what we need to do here. And I agree. Proposition 1 gives us a chance to get started.
Yes.
And so we know about B. B sounds like empty promise. And what do you think about Proposition C? What is Proposition C about?
Offhand, I don't have the descriptions for Proposition C.
Well, people can look it up.
Okay.
So Proposition 1.
Is yes.
Okay.
B is no. C, the Chinese American Democratic Clubs voted for yes.
Okay.
Yes on E, F, G.
Now G. Question: that's the teaching algebra in the 8th grade?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! I don't understand why that's a question, Greg.
Well, apparently, a lot of students are not ready for algebras on 8th grade. It should not be a mandatory class for all the students. It should be a selective class for people who want to take it, or maybe even get extra credit for it to take that class. But totally eliminates algebra for the 8th grade is unconscionable. Why do we need to bring down the talents and the intellectuals of the students? We should help them and provide the better tool all the time.
That's right. I'm a firm believer in higher education. My son came through Lowell. I graduated from Lowell. It was on merit. It wasn't the color of his skin. And all of his friends were on merit. People thought that he got in because of some special way, because of his color, affirmative action. And referring to what you were saying about we should not downgrade education, we should uplift education, we should uplift our students, as you're saying. And the more education our students can get, as you're saying, the better for them.
Very true. Well, going back to Diane's children's, they go to Lowell on merits. They wasn't going to Lowell High School because of their race. I know that race discriminations happens before. That happens to the Black people, the Irish, the Asians, and anybody who is not lily white. But people pull themselves out, bring themselves better, increase their economy, increase the self-esteem and the dignity. That's what's important. Look at the Italian. They came here. Many of them were poor, and they were being discriminated. Look at the Jewish people. They were totally being discriminated. And in World War II, they were killing them by millions. They came to the United States. They bring themselves up. Mm-hmm. They don't necessarily get help from other people. Mm-hmm. They do it themselves.
Right. Right.
So the Black people should not keep saying that, oh, because we were slaves before. No. We don't have the courage to bring ourselves up, or we have to have redemptions or something. But the most important thing is your family support. Your parents going to make the difference.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
So go out and vote and bring yourself up.
That's right. Just to piggyback, as they say, on what you said about the support of the family being so important. I was blessed, like many of the people that I know, were blessed with great parents. Hard work. No one stayed home. Everyone earned, either received as much education as possible or qualified for the best job. But everyone was either in school, pursuing education or working. Now, that's the Black way. This other way, this is like some new jack. We don't know what this is. We don't know who these people are, but these are not Black people from our way. And they're lost. And unfortunately, there's more coverage on the news of them. They don't show people like my son, who's a doctor now. They don't show people like my niece, who's a researcher at UCSF, also Lowell alumni. They are showing the negative, and it kind of reinforces, but I totally agree. The equalizer is to pull oneself up, as you said, and I would add to that, by their bootstraps. Now, if you don't have any boots, then pull yourself up with education. Now, that's the Black way. This other stuff, so I can understand why some people are like, why are the Black people complaining? Well, at least it's not all of us. As you know, because you've known me for some time, you know all types of Black people. Just like I know, well, I only know, I don't really know any Asian gangbangers, but I know a lot of good Asian people. But my husband knew the Doughboys. They all came up together. Well, they were in San Francisco around the same time. But every race has an opportunity here, as you were saying, in San Francisco and in the United States. That's why everyone wants to come. So it's heartbreaking for me as a person that comes from a hardworking family. My mother, God rest her soul, was a doctor before she passed. My dad, hardworking until 90. We had to make him retire. But there's so much opportunity. And I think about the voting, if we get, like you said, get out and vote, like-minded people, we have to come together.
I marched in the 60s, 80s, 90s with the Black people. I marched on Luther King Jr.'s, and I marched with Amos Brown, who's the president of the NAACP now. Yes. You have to pull yourself together. You have to pull yourself up.
That's right. Unity. But it has to be all of us. It's going to take all of us for these ills, the homelessness, the drug abuse. What do you think about people that are on welfare that are using drugs? Should they get a welfare check still? What do you think?
There should be a period of time for them to adjust. Abruptly discontinue it, it's not going to help. It's just going to, let them go down more.
Mm-hmm.
You have to help them. You have to provide some kind of funding to help them, and give them time and the willingness to correct themselves and pull themselves together.
Yes.
So artificially just take away welfare because they use drug, I don't think it's a good idea. You need to give them time, give them opportunity to correct themselves.
Mm-hmm. And tell me more about the kind of opportunity that they would need.
But if you give them 6 months period of time to go to rehabs, go to get education, and every 6 months have an evaluations. If they are totally unable to rehab, then you might have to put in something stronger.
And what would that be?
Well, in China before, you get a bullet in the head.
Oh,
You don't want that happen here. You get a bullet and your family have to pay for the bullet too. Yeah.
No nonsense at all. That's zero tolerance.
Mhm. But that's one thing good about the communists. They totally eradicates the drug use. But
Eradicate means they get rid of it totally.
But that's our extremely cruel and inhuman methods. We need to be better. We need to be more humans and provide help and rehab to the people who use drugs, and also do law enforcement to stop the dealers and the pushers. In Philippines, they were shooting all the dealers on the street. It doesn't stop it, because as soon as you kill one, there's two more come up again.
That's right.
The reason why is that because of the economics factors. They sell drugs because they can make money. We have to have a policies to stop using drugs for the reasons for their own good, and stop the economics factors. All the dealers and all those drug pushers should have a very heavy economic fines. Take away all their economics goods, so they have no interest in going into selling drugs. That's what we're not doing it now. Take away their economic reason for selling drugs.
Right. Wow. There it is. Oh, Greg, you're gonna have to come back. We have a lot to talk about. You have a lot to You have a lot to share, and I have a lot to hear. We all have a lot to hear.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the politicians yet.
Oh,
we got Biden and Trump.
Okay.
I don't think I can vote for Trump.
No. Why?
He's a bully, and he's a racist, and it's not good for the country at all. He might be helping some people of the countries, like anti-abortions, things like that. But for the abortion issue, it should be addressed by the whole country, by each state, by each community, to come up with ideas, and through education, not through law enforcement.
Good. Yeah, I don't think I can vote for Trump, but Biden's making it hard, but I don't see another choice for our country. Our country is in trouble.
Yes.
And what do you think about the state senators that are running?
There are quite a few good choices. Adams, Lee, Porters, they're very good. So we'll be up to you, and you go out to vote for the best candidates that you think will help.
That's very well said. Now, when you see the show, it will be one day. This is the day before the elections. It'll be March the 5th. Then you'll see the show on the 4th, but we're going to also run it another week. We want to thank you very much, Mr. Leung, Gregory Leung, of the San Francisco Chinese American Democratic Club of San Francisco. Thank you so much, and we will have you back next time. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you Monday at 7:30 weekly. Bye.